Welcome, everyone, to Chapter and Verse with Kireet Kokala. With a diverse background as an author, AI leader, public speaker, and lifelong learner, I feature fellow authors, technologists, artists, and thought leaders on my channel. I'm very excited today to bring you the second episode of this podcast. And we're here today with our esteemed guest, none other than Kafi London. Kafi is the author of an amazing book called Fired Up, Lead with Energy and Create Ripples of Impact. And it's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Kafi, welcome to the podcast.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. I'm super excited.
Thank you, Kafi, and so am I. I know since we met earlier this year, I heard your keynote. I read this amazing book by you, Fired Up, and I've been an ardent fan. There's a dedicated section of my whiteboard where I have a summarized version of your energy ladder of impact, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But I thought this is just too incredible not to share with our viewers. So, for everybody listening in, Kathy is so many things in one. She's an amazing human being, and she brings human connection. She's a catalyst for human connection. She's an author, TEDx MC, and in her spare time, she's a high energy indoor cycling instructor, and the list just that's just getting started. So once again, Kathy, I'm so thrilled you're with us today.
Thank you. It's an honor and pleasure to be here, Kareem. So I can't wait to dive in. I'm here for you, whatever you need. Let's do this.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get into it. And first and foremost, Fired Up. What inspired you to write Fired Up? And what's the bigger problem you've been helping leaders to solve through your work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I wrote Fired Up. Actually, writing Fired Up was quite a journey. It's a journey of a really book. It's a book to help leaders. And I say leaders, we're all leaders in some shape or form. So we don't need leadership as a title to be a leader. In today's world, a lot of people look to us as leaders. And what focused me on writing it is I realized that I learned a lot about leadership from maybe not necessarily the best leaders. And energy in today's world, as you know, and I know, in today's world, leadership comes with a lot of stress, a lot of heaviness, a lot of weight, and that creates what I call a ripple effect. So when we're around people that are really funky and stressed out and a hot mess, then there's this awful ripple effect. So the book is really written to help flip that around, like how it's really given us recognition of when we show up and we're responsible for leading others, how does our energy, something called relational energy, impact other people? If we're good, there's a positive relational energy that goes out. And if we're feeling funky and bad, then that's contagious as well, and people don't want to be around us. So that's what really inspired me to write it, is really from a place of overwhelm and really putting some good pointers out there, good vibes out there for leaders. Yeah.
That is amazing to hear. And I could just feel the goosebumps rise up again because when I was reading the book in Fired Up, there are a lot of call to action sort of events where we can interact with you. And I'm very
Yeah.
curious because you talk about the energy ladder of impact. And for the listeners who are new to your work, what is that energy ladder of impact in your book and in your life?
Yeah, thank you for calling that out. So I struggled myself when I was looking. So a lot of sometimes when we write a book, it's our inner journey, or we're trying to help others, but it's an inner journey. And the energy ladder of impact is, if you think of it, for I know many people are on a podcast listening, but think of it as an extension ladder. So levels of a ladder using your mind, your hands, whatever. And there's like six levels of the ladder. And there's really two, if you like, columns. One is about our state, how we are feeling, and the second is the impact of how we're feeling. So if we think of the extensional level and ladder, if we go from the bottom up, if we're really fed up, then the impact is negative on people. People don't want to be around us, right? And then so the energy of ladder of impact is all about going up this ladder, and we go from being fed up to maybe frustrated and fine. right? And so they're the bottom three levels of the ladder. And as we go up the ladder from frustrated to fine, then people start want to be around us.
Hmm.
Now, there's a level in the middle when we flip over, and fine isn't always good, by the way. Fine, we think it's great, but fine just means like, can't be bothered, it's okay, whatever. And so that's the energy we put out in the world. But when we go above the line, that's all below the line activity. When we go above the line and we become focused and flourishing and fired up, then we attract people like magnets. So the energy ladder of impact is all about how do we go up that ladder and then we increase the people who are attracted to our services, our businesses, our thoughts and ideas. So that's what it's all about.
Man, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Kathy. It is very visual when you think about the levels all the way from being fed up to fired up. And there are all these levels that we kind of nebulously go between. I myself have been there. And for
Yeah,
anybody who hasn't checked out the book and the process, it is amazing. I
yeah,
remember being stuck many times, and I looked at the book when I was writing my own, finishing things up, and it was really great to kind of get out of your general field and understand how these energy cycles work.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so that's a great job you've done for all the
Thank you,
leaders.
thank you. And I want to say the other thing I want to say, fired up doesn't mean like we have to be a cheerleader, right? It doesn't mean you have to be
Correct.
rah, 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 fired up all the time.
Right.
Like, because energy, as we say, how we feel can be exhausting or it can be calming. There's all different things. So fired up just means, are you excited about what you're doing and who you're being in that moment? And we're not all, and I'm not always fired up, but I know if I'm feeling frustrated or fine or fed up, then I know not to be around other people and I do independent work rather than social work, if that makes sense. So that's really the key to it as well.
I think that is an amazing paradigm. It's a way to self-calibrate, evaluate, and see
Yeah,
kind of where we're going.
yeah.
And thought that's amazing. But I also wonder for anybody nowadays just feeling a bit stuck, or if their energy reserves running on empty, what's one gentle but emotional power nudge from Fired Up that you suggest we should try this week to spark a little more energy in our lives?
Yeah, this is a great question. And in the book, I have throughout each chapter, I have at the end something called vibe shifters. And these are questions, and you mentioned some of these a lot. These are questions that you can really do an internal dialogue, internal assessment, or if you're working with leaders of teams, you can ask those questions. But one of the key ones I look at is I ask us to look at often. Really good gauge is our check engine light. Just like a car, when the check engine light is on, we stop. We're like, oh, we have to go to a garage or we have to go see a mechanic. We go get it fixed. But here's the deal, Kareem. Most of us have a check engine light going on every day or often due to stress, due to various things that happen in our lives. So, and most of us ignore that check engine light until something catastrophic happens. So, my question is what I ask people to think about is when was the last time you really had a look at your check engine light? Is it on and are you ignoring it? And if you're ignoring it, then what do you know is true? So everyone can see where they are. If their check engine light is not on, that's fantastic. But from time to time, it blinks on and off, on and off. And when it stays on constantly, we have to take that car into the shop. It might be time for you to just refocus and get your energy right. So that's one of the key questions I ask people is what's going on with your energy, with your check engine light?
What a fantastic analogy, Kathy, when you talk about the check engine light. And so many of us are guilty as charged when we hit the snooze button on it, or we go, I drive some more, I hit the brakes, I turn the corner, it's going to go away. But does it? It accrues a lot more stress and energy. And you're so right about kind of getting checked out, assessing, talking
Yeah,
through things, and sort of even mind mapping where we are, why we're
for
feeling
sure.
stuck, and not kind of ignoring those signs. So that is fantastic. And I know for all of us, everyone's got that energy spectrum, and you worked a lot with leaders, with executives, and people from all walks of life. And I was wondering, what's a common thread that you hear these people discuss around their challenges with energy and making an impact? Maybe there's a go-to question you might ask them to start shifting that.
Yeah, there's really a couple of things, both from individual leaders. If we're looking at individual leaders, there's a perspective where they can do some internal work. But what happens is when we start looking at leadership and how they're working, often the big thing is overwhelm, right? They are overwhelmed. Back to that check engine light. They are overwhelmed and they are stressed. And I say these words because this was me for a number of years. We are stressed and a hot mess, and we really don't realize the ripple of impact that has on other people, like the people we're around us. So it might be our teams, our departments. So what happens then is leaders in whatever they're doing end up leaving an organization, their role, only to jump ship to go somewhere else. But you just start in a cycle all over again. What happens though when leaders start leaving, then the other side of that from an organizational standpoint, if you think of retention, that's impacted. So I say when leaders start leaving, companies start bleeding, right? Leaders are leaving, companies start bleeding. And so it's a lose-lose because now you've lost great talent,
Correct.
and then on one end, you've lost great talent from an organizational perspective. And the leader themselves, they're like, okay, I'm out, I'm going to do something else. And they don't realize it's another bridge or another hurdle to cross over. So the real thing is, how do we manage that? How do we take care of our leaders? How do we take care of ourselves? Self-leadership, how do we overcome adversity? How do we get back to the energy, the true source that we need to thrive, especially in this world we're in where we're surrounded by tech, and we're surrounded by doing more, being more, producing more, productivity, all of those measures. So, yeah.
Well, that is such a balanced perspective on how to look at energy, what we put out there, look at it from a leadership standpoint, and also from an organizational standpoint, bearing in mind the impact we also bring at a larger systemic level, even. And I
Yeah.
think that's food for thought for a deeper conversation.
Yeah.
Just kind of shifting gears a little bit, I've
Sure.
spoken to a lot of leaders like yourself. I've spoken to leaders who've shared stage with you. And when people work with you, they describe you as a catalyst for connection, a catalyst for human connection, with all those degrees that it brings with us. So, could you give us a glimpse of A, what that experience has been like? And then where your mission to reignite this human connection is taking you next in 2026 and beyond.
Yeah, that's a great. Thank you for asking that question because I always like to say many of the leaders I know now are what we call multi-passionate. That means that we love doing different things. And while we have a mission, there's also a drive and a purpose, and there's a bigger problem that we solve in the world. And I love where the world is going with tech, right? And you know a lot of the work that you do as well. Like tech is here, AI is here, it's going place and it's doing great things. And I love that, and I'm behind it, and I love all the work and how it's helped me with productivity. What's interesting is I was at a conference yesterday, AI marketing conference called AI Pulse Marketing. It was great. And it talked about how the future, while it's tech based, that's what's going, the heart of it is coming back to human connection. Like we still need people. We still need people to drive the tech. We still need people engaged to direct the tech and all of that. So that actually really surprised me because I know, we're kind of running this race in life. So a lot of the work that I do now, my current focus is on reigniting human connection. What I found is we are in this world which is glorious where we're accelerating, but we've lost the art of communicating face to face, toe to toe, belly to belly with people. There's a lot of social anxiety around. We've got faces in our tech, we're doing this, we've become isolated working from homes. And so, with the return to office, with a lot of organizations getting people to come back in the office, people are feeling awkward. They don't know how to communicate with people. I get leaders who come to me and say, after the pandemic, I spent a lot of time getting to learn what I did well on Zoom. And then that was great. But now I have to go back and be in front of people. I don't know where to look. I don't know how to present. I don't know how to present don't know how to make eye contact. I don't know how to rally my team. And that's the work I do, is in the midst of all that's going on with the tech, let's double click on and double down on human connection. And with that, based in Atlanta, as we know, there's a huge global experience that's coming to the US next year, where there's a world activity happening. Everyone should know. And I'm doing a lot of work. My new program is called Beyond Hello, and really helping, if you like, us really get through the cultural challenges by really double downing on that human connection piece, because it's easy for all these fans and visitors to come from around the world and us to just use tech, especially in hospitality. And I'm like, no, how can we go beyond hello and really double down on that human connection? Not be stressed and a hot mess when we're interacting with our global guests, but how can we really engage and really have an awareness of a lot of what's happening from a cultural standpoint? So really embracing what I call cultural confidence.
That's amazing. And Kathy, firstly, you're doing a fantastic job. I wish you fair winds. Good luck with Beyond Hello. I
Thank you.
I know for a fact that has potential to become a global sort of phenomenon with the think tanks that you engage with. But I want to say thank you for those powerful insights that you just brought to how Fired Up can help you calibrate and then how you make AI personal again by revisiting our fundamentals. We cannot forget the human connection that has brought technology to this stage and where we have to continue using it to improve those connections by revisiting our fundamentals and kind of getting to the higher levels of the cog or the ladder, if you will.
Yeah. So I love this conversation. I think it's great. It's been fantastic. Thank
Absolutely.
you for the time here. But I do have some questions for you because I want to know what
Okay.
you've been up to, Cree. What have you been up to? I know since your book has come out, The Graphene Bridge, I would love to hear more about what you're doing, what you're up to, because it's been a while since we actually connected. So tell me.
Yes, there's been a lot of scintillating stuff around the graphene bridge.
Yeah.
It has been a fantastic and humbling experience. There's been an audiobook that I also authored, and the response has been very humbling, energizing, and it's allowed me to kind of dig in further into my passion and R&D work around artificial intelligence. So I've specifically been developing an AI platform in my own time to analyze market volatility. And this kind of happens at the intersection of human behavior,
There
behavioral
you
trends.
go. There you
Yes.
go. Yeah,
So
I
it
love it.
helps.
I
It
love it.
always helps to see what people are doing or not doing. And it's
Yeah.
kind of at that crossroads of high tech behavioral trends and how can we be better poised with ethical AI. So that's kept me busy and humbled.
I
And
love it.
I've also been focused on keynotes and seminars to just kind of move forward with purpose, kind of pushing myself and saying, yeah, I'm not fed up at all. I'm motivated. I want to be fired up about everything, but there's that little cycle to get there. Yeah, every morning you got to do it. You got to do the deed
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get there. So that's kind of where I am. And I should share that I've been working on my second book, the creative process, kind of just collating and drawing inspiration from leaders such as yourself and everyone else. And I'm letting that creative process unfold. It's a very exciting time for
Yes,
sure.
yes. That's fantastic. I'm so proud of you for getting your book out, your first book out. And yes, I love your words when you say it's been humbling because writing a book and getting your own work and get your body of work out in the world is certainly a humbling experience for all of us. And it's a journey. So congratulations on the great work you're doing. And I can see you on stages around the world as you talk more about your work with AI and the graphene bridge and all of that, and excited to hear more about your new book as you unfold the writing process as well. So, yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
Kathy, thank you. Thank you so much. That is very encouraging to hear, very humbling. You've always been in my corner, so thank you for that. And also, Kathy, thank you for dropping some serious intellectual gems today. You've left us with a very powerful action plan, steps we can take, reach out to you, all that. And I'm genuinely excited about the work you're doing now, 2026 and beyond, because you'll be impacting lots of lives. So I wanted to thank you for joining us. And for everybody listening in, to connect with Kafi, head over to kafilondon.com or
Yes.
click the links in the description below.
Awesome. A pleasure. Thank you so much, Kareem. Appreciate you.
Likewise, Kafi, thank you. Thanks to all the viewers of the Chapter and Verse series. If this sparked something in you, please like this video, share, and follow me on social media at Kireet Verse. Until next time, stay hungry, stay creative.